everybody, this is Kathlyn Hinesley with Exploring Dimensions for All. Today I'm going to be reading to you from my book Welcome to Infinity, Exploring Ancient and Modern Techniques for Collaborating with Otherworldly Beings. And I'm going to be reading Chapter 8, The Reality of Dreams. So this has about 10 footnotes in it, but the first few come at the beginning. Where had I gone on my visit to the underworld? Had my fluttering eyelids created a dreamscape for me? Or were they merely symptomatic of an altered state of perception? And if I'd been dreaming, why had I felt so awake? I suspected that the drum beats had pulled me into a waking dream state of sorts. Could this state have allowed for or helped to facilitate perception of a world wholly independent, but just as real as the realm we normally perceive while awake? Perhaps dreams were a doorway to non-physical realms like those experienced after death. The idea that dreams can provide access to spirit realms and help to facilitate contact with departed ancestors and other spiritual entities is common among native peoples. However, not all dreams are regarded as possessing equal significance. And this one is footnote 1, Werner Wolf, PhD, The Dream-Mirror of Conscience, A History of Dream Interpretation from 2000 BC, and A New Theory of Dream Synthesis, originally published in 1952 by Gruen and Stratton, New York, First Greenwood Reprinting, Westport, Greenwood Press, Publishers, 1972, page 5. Specific meanings may be attached to certain kinds of dreams, which may be regarded as evidence of divine contact, while others may be seen as relatively unimportant. The ancient Egyptians, Sumerians, and Greeks all appear to have shared a belief in the divine or spiritual nature of dreams. And this is footnote 2, Wills B. Webb, quote, Historical Perspectives from Aristotle to Calvin Hall, end quote, in Dreamtime and Dream Work, Decoding the Language of the Night, edited by Stanley Krippner, PhD, Los Angeles, Jeremy P. Tarcher, Incorporated, 1990, page 175. The Egyptians believed that dreams allowed for the reception of supernatural messages impossible to access in the waking state. And this is footnote 3, Wolf, The Dream-Mirror of Conscience, page 10. Native peoples often tried to evoke meaningful dreams for the purpose of communicating with spirit beings. Young Native Americans, for example, would go on vision quests and pray to make contact with a totem animal through a dream or vision. Fasting, sleeplessness, and isolation were sometimes utilized to facilitate such contact with the spirit world. I knew little about the reality I had just experienced other than what I had seen and felt. The underworld had been a place of movement, a place where my spirit body had been ceaselessly on the go. In that sense, it had been like the world we experience in dreams, and by some accounts, like the one we inhabit after death. It had been a place of constantly changing visions, but also one of acute sensation. The hand of the thin green being I'd touched shortly before my departure had felt slimy and cold. Wherever I'd been had been somewhere real, and somehow the drum beats had transported me there. Sleep researchers have found that dreaming seems to occur in conjunction with rapid eye movements. And then in brackets it's capital REM small s, end bracket, which may be visible as movements of the eyes beneath the eyelids of a sleeping subject. Subjects who are awakened while experiencing REMs are frequently able to recall dreams. Had my fluttering eyelids been caused by REMs? Scientists studying the brain have linked electrical patterns emitted by the brain with certain states of consciousness. Brain rhythms, or brain waves, that fall within set frequency ranges have been identified with specific stages of sleep and wakefulness. These stages are typically divided into the following primary levels. 1. Delta, 0.5 to 4 Hz, associated with deep sleep. 2. Theta, 4 to 8 Hz, found in conjunction with dreams and visionary episodes. 3. Alpha, 8 to 14 Hz, identified with relaxed states. And 4. Beta, 14 to 23 Hz, associated with daily waking experience. As noted above, dreams are associated with theta rhythms. Brainwaves in the alpha range have been linked with channeling, communication with spirit beings. Actually, let's see, I'm going to footnote that one, so I better read it exactly as written. Brainwaves in the theta range have been linked with channeling, bracket, communication with spirit beings, end bracket, and states of consciousness conducive to meditation. And this is footnote 4. And this one is John Climo, Channeling, Investigations on Receiving Information from Paranormal Sources, Los Angeles, Jeremy P. Tarcher, Incorporated, 1987, page 264. It is now known that sound and rhythm are capable of altering brain waves, and that certain drum rhythms may facilitate waves in the theta range. Although it may be tempting to conclude that alpha and theta brainwaves merely provide a backdrop for illusions, hallucinations, and other flights of fancy, I would urge the reader to consider the possibility that such rhythms may instead allow us to perceive a different but very genuine reality, one that is simply incompatible with rhythms generated by the waking mind. After all, isn't it a bit nonsensical for us to arbitrarily label perceptions obtained by the brain while in one frequency range as real, while labeling those perceived in another frequency range as mere fantasy? Modern dream research has uncovered a psychic dimension to many dreams, which suggests that dreamers may in fact obtain access to a parallel dimension, one that shares important characteristics with realms described by near-death survivors. One characteristic common to both dream reports and near-death accounts, for example, is an absence of linear time, which sometimes allows for accurate visions of the future. A friend once confided to me that she frequently dreamt of airplane accidents before they occurred. Another friend told me about a dream he'd had in which he'd experienced an ordinary day in advance. My friend, who earned a living repairing and installing security cameras, said he dreamt one night that he spoke with certain clients about their technical problems and utilized various tools to make repairs. Upon awakening, the workday unfolded before him exactly as he dreamt it. Clients, technical problems, tools, and all. A woman I interviewed while writing this chapter described dreams she'd had shortly before the September 11, 2001 airplane attacks on the World Trade Center towers in New York. A few weeks prior to the attacks, the woman, whom I'll call Sharon, dreamt of being a passenger on an airplane flight. She said the dream had political overtones. It was difficult to tell who were the good guys and who were the bad guys, she said. Sharon dreamed that she and others were put into a black box. She said she knew she'd die if she couldn't escape, but sensed that she might be able to save others if she were able to free herself. In a later dream, Sharon said she saw a man with a beard, whom she sensed was a religious leader of some kind. She said she sensed that a great deal of evil was connected with this man, and she felt that a lot of people were going to die. Because Sharon had a history of precognitive dreams, including an accurate dream of a local helicopter crash, she began to grow nervous about an airplane trip she planned to take to Los Angeles on September 9, 2001. Sharon appealed to the spirit world for help and asked her dream master to assist her in understanding her dreams. In response to her prayers, Sharon heard a message one morning when she awoke. "Don't worry," a voice said. "It doesn't affect you. It's on the other side." "I immediately thought of the Middle East," Sharon said, "because it's on the other side of the world, and there's a lot of trouble over there." Reassured, Sharon continued with plans for her trip to Los Angeles. But her feelings of uneasiness continued. She said she grew extremely nervous about her return trip on the 10th of September. Even though neither of her dreams had involved hitchhikers, she found herself thinking about them while waiting for her flight home. "I was walking around the airport trying to find hijackers," she said. When news of the attacks in New York reached Sharon, the message from her dream master took on new clarity. Sharon, who lives in California, now suspects that her dream master meant the East Coast when referring to the other side. Why had Sharon thought of hijackers as well as the Middle East? Had her dreams provided her with access to information not easily accessible in waking life? As noted earlier, many Native peoples see dreams as a means of interacting with spiritual beings and obtaining special information. Shamans in Zambia, for example, utilize dreams as a means of diagnosing a patient's illness. And this is footnote 5. And footnote 5 is Stanley Krippner, quote, "Tribal shamans and their travels into dream time," end quote, in Dreamtime and Dream Work, page 189. While the Crow Indians believe dreams can provide advice useful for hunting and planting endeavors. Footnote 6. Wolf, The Dream, Mirror of Conscience, page 7. Laboratory studies have shown that the dreaming mind may indeed have psychic or telepathic capabilities. In dream labs, study participants have tried to telepathically send specific subject matter or ideas to dreamers, who in turn have attempted to utilize this material in their dreams. Dream experiments involving multiple parties have produced correspondent dream material among participants. This is footnote 7, Linda Lane Magellan and Barbara Shore, quote, "Shared dreaming, joining together in dream time," end quote, in Dreamtime and Dream Work, pages 254 to 257. And then, here we go again. Another paranormal experience, sometimes connected with dreams, is clairvoyant vision or knowing. Dreamers sometimes report traveling to see loved ones or friends and learning of things they would ordinarily have no way of knowing. Many dreamers have also reported being visited by loved ones and later learning that these visits occurred just prior to or just after their loved one's death. It would appear that some type of communication becomes possible in dreams, which transcends physical laws as we know them. One of the most exciting discoveries to come out of modern dream research is the phenomenon of multiple party dreams. That's phenomenon of multiple party dreams. Dream meetings in which two or more people meet in a dream may be accidental or planned. Planned meetings are facilitated through a daytime agreement to meet in a dream in which specific factors are present. Although certain dream elements may prove dissimilar upon comparison, surprisingly similar group dreams have been reported. Footnote 8, IBID. Whatever the true nature of dreams may be, it seems clear that the dreaming mind has access to information typically unavailable in the waking state. In my opinion, this fact alone merits the close examination of dreams and their possible connection to parallel planes of existence. The link made by ancient and native peoples among dreams, special knowledge, and the guidance of spirits is particularly interesting in view of the fact that theta brainwaves appear to be produced by the portion of the brain that is responsible for memory and learning. Could it be that we possess within our skulls an organ that allows us to transcend physical reality, connect with an infinite number of beings, and access infinite knowledge? When studying the history of dream research for this book, I came upon a most interesting reference. In his book, The Lucid Dreamer, A Waking Guide for the Traveler Between Worlds, Malcolm Godwin discusses the phenomenon of hypnopompic hallucinations. So that was in quotation marks, quote, hypnopompic hallucinations, end quote, footnote 9. Malcolm Godwin, The Lucid Dreamer, A Waking Guide for the Traveler Between Worlds, New York, Simon & Schuster, A Labyrinth Book, Copyright 1994, Labyrinth Publishing, UK Ltd, page 25. Godwin explains that these hallucinations appear when dream material is carried into waking reality. Quote, on arousal from sleep, comma, 3 ellipsis dots, end quote, he explains, quote, the dreamer sometimes sees fully formed and what appear to be completely substantial images set within the framework of the actual waking space. End quote, footnote 10, IBID, page 23. I thought about the leprechaun I had seen on my friend's shoulder that night when I was 10. Had my brain continued to produce theta rhythms after I'd awoken? Did the techniques for spirit communication employed by ancient and native peoples produce such rhythms? And if so, how could such rhythms be facilitated outside of the dreaming state? Okay, folks, so I'll be going on to read chapter 9 next. Thanks for listening. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked this chapter. And I wanted to let you know also that this book was written in 2002, so some of the information in that chapter is from 2001. So I've learned a lot of things actually since I wrote this book about metaphysics as well as some other current events type things. And so some of my thoughts and ideas have undergone a bit of an evolution on these topics since 2002. By and large, almost all of the information that is spiritual in nature, I continue to agree with. I've merely added to my knowledge with regard to these matters based on personal psychic experience and also some other research that I've done. So anyhow, thanks a lot for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.